This is Abzan Traverse, and there's a couple things about this deck list that I'm intrigued with. One of them is the 2 Lingering Souls instead of the traditional 3 or 4. I think that's a testament to Lingering Souls not being great right now. Another is the split of Fatal Push and Path to Exile, which I've been very hesitant to try because I think Fatal Push is generally the better card to have. So we're on the draw with a pretty awkward hand. I'm going to have to mulligan this. We have no turn 1 play. I think we can easily get overrun with this hand. I'm going to have to mulligan this also because I can't cast really any spells. If I keep this, I need to get a black land on top. So I think I have to actually mulligan here. Unfortunately, my first hand was better, but I will keep this here. And I'll keep a bauble on top so I can get a free scry effect. Kind of play a free little Serum Visions or Opt here. Looks like we're up against the mirror here. Doom Slayers. They've been on a green-black list for a little while now. I probably should have looked at the name first. That would have been helpful. You would have kept the first. The first hand was just so. Hey, Kevin. Would you guys have kept that first hand? I just think that first hand was so slow. Ballista. I don't want Ballista here, so I will shuffle that away. Because we're actually up against a green-black deck, that first hand was really good. Just unfortunately, I didn't know what we were up against. So that's a problem with playing a reactive deck game 1. When your game plan is you want to have a Thoughtseize or a Fatal Push in your hand, not knowing if that's going to be good. Opponent looks stuck on lands. Or they just have a handful of removal spells. So I can either play another Tarmogoyf, or I can drop Lingering Souls. I actually want to preserve my life total here. I think Tarmogoyf is just a much faster clock. That's fine. Here I'll go with Souls. And hopefully I draw a land so I can play Goyf and Trophy here. Opponent let me untap with my Lingering Soul still in the yard, so I think I just got to flash that back now. They're heavily hurt by their lack of mana right now. Because if they have a Liliana of the Veil, I'm not that afraid of it. A Liliana Last Hope would be pretty rough right now. And they have the Last Hope? Okay. Save 5 life. Draw land, please. Okay. If I could draw a basic swamp, that'd probably be the best possible draw, so then I can trophy two of their cards away. In a mirror match here on a mulligan, it's going to be really hard for me to recover. I'm going to trophy the Lily, but I wanted to put pressure on the board. So I'm going to traverse for a swamp here. And now they're three. If they top deck a, actually I'm just dead. Look at a basic forest here, and that's 10 damage either way. So no matter what, I'm just dead here because they'll have 10. Let's say I trophy this Tarmogoyf, then there will be 1, 2, 3 green creatures. They'll have 3 green mana. So I'm actually going. The only way I can not die here is if my opponent spends their green mana to do something besides eat with Scavenging Ooze. Killing Last Hope when I'm done anything there. Last Hope is not what's killing me. So Anafenza might be okay here. Really, I want to cut the discard spells. And I want to have 6 cards to bring in. I don't think I have 6 cards to bring in here, unless you count Fulminator Mage, Damnation, Knight of Autumn. They had a removal spell for my Goyf anyway, so if I killed Lily, right, the Souls was dying anyway, so it didn't really do anything. I think playing a threat was more relevant there. I'm kind of intrigued with a Spell Bomb here. I'm pretty sure my opponent runs a Delirium style list, so I can do something like this. The sideboard doesn't seem well suited to fight grindy matchups, which is completely fair given the fact that we are not in a grindy meta right now. So I have to mulligan this hand. I only have 1 land. This is a problem that you'll see with Traverse style lists. Sometimes you have to mulligan a little bit more. I'll put that on top and just play a tap land. So game 1 was lost in part just because mulliganing to 5 in a fair matchup is not what you want to be doing. Just play another tap land, pass. I'm holding up path here. And the next turn I can drop a Last Hope. So whatever they drop here, if they drop a creature, I'll path it, and then I'll drop Last Hope. Okay. Oh, actually, I could. So I play a fetch land. Goyf will become a 1/2. If I Liliana, yeah, I think I just want to actually Liliana that and not path. I think this is actually a crucial point to stop. Pause for a moment. If I path the Tarmogoyf, I advance my opponent's mana. What does that matter? That matters if my opponent's going to have a Liliana of their own. But I do think dropping a Last Hope on the board just to start upticking, does that give me any value? Not really. So I think I'll hold the spell for the moment. I can untap and push. Like next turn I can traverse for another land, so I can play Rhino, and then I can push or empath 2 different threats. Play all 3 of those. Okay, Anafenza. So it's a much better path target for me. So I think my line's still the same. I want to traverse for a land here so I can start deploying my threats. Yep. I do want to drop a flare, but I think just dropping a rhino next turn might actually just be better. Just one last second when I'm figuring out if I want to drop a Grim Flare as a 2/2. I think I just want to kill both of their threats, so in that regard, I'll just pass the turn. Opponent still has 6 cards in hand, so they're clearly winning a card advantage battle, but I have a Planeswalker in play, so I think I'm just generally ahead. Still nothing in the graveyard in terms of creatures, so they might be trophying my Liliana here. Okay, that works too. And to keep my hand a little bit lighter from discard, I'm going to not crack this Mishra's Bauble until their turn. Not that they should keep in discard against me, but... So this is rough. They're going to kill my Rhino. And then I'm either going to attack it with Wildwood, looks like they're holding up a path, or drop my Flare. So this is an Abzan Mirror. Abzan Traverse actually is unfavored against a non-traverse list. Like their list generally just goes bigger than mine does. If I go all out, try to attack with Stirring Wildwood, and they have a push, then I'm just going to get blown out from this Lily. So I actually want to just play my entire hand out and pass turn. Yep, so we'd have gotten blown out there. Unfortunately, knowing that they're drawing a Lingering Souls here makes the fact that they killed Flare over Goyf pretty painful. I don't see how we can really recover from this matchup right now. I need to draw a removal spell for Lily. I need to draw a removal spell for Double Goyf. This is one of those matchups where, like, as I was saying before, Abzan Traverse just is not as grindy as straight up Abzan Midrange. Declaration in Stone would be pretty sweet right now. Okay, so they have Fulminator Mage with a Stirring Wildwood. I would need to draw a Damnation here, and even that, they still have 3 cards in hand. I'm playing my lands out because I don't have Tireless Tracker in my deck, and I want to get something out of them rather than just lose it to Liliana. Yep. Yeah, we are way behind here. Even a Damnation probably isn't enough. An Edict here would probably make them lose Fulminator Mage. I actually think I I think I have to edict. Let's see the. This is game 2, Kevin. Yep. We're playing against Doomslayers on his big Abzan list, which is unfortunate because we're on little Abzan. I actually think they would sacrifice the Fulminator Mage. I don't think I don't think they care about Stirring Wildwood. So if I edict, I think all I do is remove a 2/2. That doesn't do anything. If I don't edict now, though, all I'm going to be edicting is a Lingering Souls, which we know they have in their hand because of the bauble. If I plus Liliana, they're going to pitch the Souls. So I don't really, I'm trying to think of a situation where I don't just die here. I need to top deck a Damnation, right? Yeah, one of the cards in their hand. They actually did sacrifice a Goyf. Wow, I think that's... Chris, you called it. I think that's a huge mistake. I don't think Fulminator Mage is nearly as good as a Tarmogoyf right here in this spot. Yeah, they have an uptick with Lily, so they clearly do have something good. I know that they have a Lingering Souls. I just don't know what the other card is. And if I uptick my Lily, they're just going to discard a Souls, and I don't think half of a card is worth it. Okay, so I lose my Goyf. I need to draw a Damnation. Ballista. 1, 2, 3. So I'll kill Liliana. Although I have no... Yeah, I think I'll just kill Liliana now. And then just pass the turn. This is not a Damnation. No. But it's not a bad draw. This lets me block and kill something. Like block, kill a Fulminator Mage. It's good against their Lingering Souls tokens if they foolishly play those before combat. So I'm just dead. Okay, down a game to a bigger version of our own deck. It's like how Eldrazi Tron loses to Real Tron. Abzan Traverse loses to Abzan Midrange. I don't think shooting the tracker would have done enough there. I'm still dead. I think my really only out there was a Damnation. I needed to wipe the board and then draw really, really well. I think Goyf was a 6/7. You can go back and look. I am on the draw, and again I have an awkward hand. I will keep this because I get a little bit of information before I choose to play. So my first turn is either going to be Stirring Wildwood or it's going to be Swamp Inquisition. Doomslayer's now he's now 2-0 against me. Against another Shambling Vent deck. Knowing this, I'm just going to lead with the Wildwood and pass, and then next turn drop a Goyf. And then the following turn, I'll traverse for a land, either drop a creature or Inquisition. Okay, we're up against a Taxes deck, looks like. Eldrazi Taxes. It's Since this is the case, I'm just going to drop Flare here. And half the cards in my deck are dead right now. Yep, Thalia. Although it's black, and I don't think it's Thalia because they're running fetch lands, and Thalia doesn't run fetch lands. Alright, let's think for a second. I can get land, instant, and sorcery in my graveyard right now. I can cast Path, Inquisition, and get a land, right? That's only 3 types. I'd still be 1 type short. So I'm going to attack. Feeling a Dismember or something here. Yeah, they're shocking. Trophy, sure. We'll just go double Goyf. And to be on our merry way. Next turn I get to swing for 9. Ensnaring Bridge, we can't attack. How many outs do I have in the deck to this situation right now? What are we playing against? We are playing against another Abzan deck, except this one runs Chalice and Bridge. Well, we can't do anything here except put card types into the graveyard. Okay. Lingering Souls would be good here. Assassin's Trophy is really what I want to draw here. If I can blow up Bridge with Trophy, I should just be able to walk away with the game with my board state. Double Bridge. Okay, so I'm in a little bit more awkward of a spot. My opponent does have an inevitability here. They can attack each turn, hold 1 card in hand, attack with a rogue, and then drop it so then I can't attack. I can block, though, which is kind of cute. Yeah, what is this, Kevin? Chalice, Bridge, Bitter Blossom. Like, this is just black, white. What's the green is just for trophy? Like, I'm just really confused right now with what is actually going on right here. So I think I actually need the trophy, this Bitter Blossom, right? Otherwise, I'm just going to die to it. I think I'm just kind of in trouble anyway. I can't attack. Yeah, they have a clock right now that is beyond what I am able to stop. So I think I need to blow up this Bitter Blossom. If I blow up the Chalice on 1, I can then do a couple things, but it's just kind of cute and it doesn't actually win me the game. Ways to win through Bridge. I have 3 trophies main board. So I either need to draw into those. I need to either draw my other trophy, right? Or I need to draw Walking Ballista. That's a way I can win through Bridge. Your nose is itchy. Yeah, I mean, what is going on here? So, I don't know if you caught it, Andrew. Round one, we lost to Doomslayer on his Abzan list, which is just, he was just bigger than we were. We had to mulligan both games due to lack of lands. Well, game one we mulliganed because there's no turn one play, and then got punished against a bigger version of our deck. And here we're game one against what looks to me like Abzan Tokens running Chalice of the Void and Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, they might have Kaya. So I think I really have to decide here if I want to trophy the bridge, try to draw into another trophy, or trophy this Bitter Blossom to slow the bleeding. Without having a way of filtering my draws, it just seems a little painful. Again, I also have the option of trophying the Chalice on one, which would open up the rest of my hand. But right now, the rest of my hand isn't really doing anything. They definitely have a Kaya in the 75. I think I just have to blow up the bridge. It's the only line I have where I just don't die. And then I'll block another token, and I have to draw into another trophy in the next turn or two. Because if I blow up Bitter Blossom, I'm still just going to die in 3 or 4 turns anyway. She doesn't do anything here, so I'm just going to pass. Now I'm going to fall to 1 or 2, because I can always eat the Grim Flare for 1 more life. Yeah, the only way I think I don't lose here is if I top deck a... I need to top deck a trophy here. And I still have the Shambling Vent as a blocker, so I still don't think I win here. Yep. Okay, Knight of Autumn seems important here. Path seems really bad. Push seems really bad. Well, I could block and eat, Chris. Fulminator, maybe. I don't really see a value in that. Maybe some board wipes to reset the tokens. I just don't think that's really a winning line either. Only having Knight of Autumn as a way to deal with Bridge in the side seems a little painful. Like, it'd be much better, I think. I think we'd be better off if we had either a couple more Knight of Autumns to deal with prison decks, or some more trophies or something. Something else to... Now we'll have 4 ways to deal with Bridge. I don't know if it'll be enough. Combo is non-creature spell. A combo might be better than an Anafenza, I guess, because they have to play cards under a bridge so they can kind of gain some life. It's a neat idea. Surgical, you want me to bring in Surgical? I could. I think they're still going to bring in Chalice on 1 against me. What would you cut for Surgical? I mean, the Fulminator Mage isn't great, right? Surgical can also hit Lingering Souls, which I normally don't advocate that, but... Yep, Spellbomb could also work for Souls here. I think I only want 1 board wipe here. Do something like that. The problem is I feel a little weak to Chalice on 1 right here. The only reason I brought in Fulminator was to have an extra something. Like there's nothing else to really bring in here. And I wanted to have less Chalice on 1 hits. Like right now we have a fifth of our deck just folds the Chalice on 1. True, they might, but we are a Thoughtseize deck. Andrew, I'm going to defer to you. I feel like this is an absolute mo. But I do like the idea of having a Thoughtseize in my hand. Like I would keep this 6 if it was missing a land. I think I absolutely need to mull here, but good. This is what has frustrated me oftentimes about traverse lists, is having a lower land count can sometimes be really, really painful. So I'll keep this because I'm on the play and I get a traverse. For 1, I can get another land. Have a land on top, so I'll keep that on top. And I will not traverse this turn because I want to draw the land naturally. You would have kept that 6. I felt like it didn't have enough interaction. I mean, this hand doesn't have any interaction either, but I really wanted to draw a Thoughtseize if possible. They have Ensnaring Bridge on top. Okay. I guess Liliana is also an out to Ensnaring Bridge. I think I'm going to shock here. What are we playing against? We are playing against a deck that runs Tireless Tracker and Ensnaring Bridge. Let's just pause here, right? Like, what is this? What are we playing against? So I'm going to shock my Overgrown Tomb and grab another land off of Traverse. I want Liliana to survive. Yeah, Tracker's value card drop, but he's not a win condition for them, like because they drop a bridge. Now I will say I did bring out a lot of my removal spells, but I still have a Liliana to deal with individual creatures, so I'm not as afraid of Tracker. Bridge, however, like I said, this deck is a little weak to bridge with only 4 ways to destroy it, not counting a Lily Edict or Ultimate. I think I need to take, if I take Abrupt Decay, I can definitely be fine with a Liliana. If I take a Tracker, I can stop them from drawing more cards. I mean, this is a competitive league. I don't. We're facing Abzan Mirrors 2 times in a row, and they're both very different decks. Maybe, Kevin. Maybe this is more. I think this is like black-white tokens. Like I really feel like this is a tokens list that is splashing green for something else. I mean, maybe this is what we should be testing because Chalice is just so good right now. I think I need to take this bridge though. because we are, like I said, really weak against bridge. And I want a double black, so I'll grab another forest. So they played Blooming Marsh. Interesting they didn't Collective Brutality me, just to see what was in my hand. Now my option here is I can Lily uptick Soul, and then Lily will be Abrupt Decayed. I can just play Soul, and then when they play Tracker, I can Lily Edict it. I think I Lily uptick. Their hand is really pretty good here, right? Just play Souls? Alright. Just talking through all the possibilities here. Because if I Lily uptick Soul, I think that's an okay spot to be in. And they would Abrupt Decay the Lily, then I'd drop the Lily and start eating their hand. Yeah, I am behind because I did have to mull, so I do have to maximize every single card I have. Okay, another bridge. That's fine. So we know they have a Collective Brutality, a Decay, and a Tracker. Yeah. So I can either I'm either playing Lily, plussing to get rid of Languish, because I want the other Lily in hand to deal with the Tracker, or I can just flashback Souls. And if I'm on the beatdown plan, I'm just gonna flashback Souls here. I do want to get him with Lily. Unfortunately, it's a very, very long plan here. The good news is that their hand is very full, so these Souls can attack for a long, long time. Alright, they're pitching my Languish. That's fine. I can drop Lily, do nothing. They have Abrupt Decay and a Tracker still in hand. I can drop a Tarmogoyf, and then that will get decayed. Lily up Goyf. I kind of like the idea of dropping Goyf, forcing the decay on that, and then I have Lilies in hand. They'll definitely decay the Goyf at some point, I think. Let's see, let's say next turn they could double spell. They'll be down to 3 cards in hand. Goyf's currently a 3/4. He can probably still sneak in. They might have a bunch of spot removal spells in hand. Alright. Nope, you convinced me. Goyf is weak under bridge, and we have 4 answers to bridge. And they probably have a handful of trophies and things like that also. They discarded the Tracker, which is not nearly as good with our handful of Lilies. Last Hope would be really good here. Last Hope would probably be one of the best cards in this matchup. Double Bridge. Okay. Not having Maelstrom Pulse feels a little painful. They still have the Abrupt Decay in hand, so I think I want to drop a combo, and I actually don't think I want to uptick Lily. If I uptick... Last Hope is really good against their win condition, which is they eventually need to win with Bitter Blossom and Lingering Souls tokens. That's how they're going to kill me. This deck seems like Marduk Pyromancer was at the end of when Marduk Pyromancer was at its peak. It was running Ensnaring Bridge, and it would just kill you with Lingering Souls tokens. They would draw a card on their turn, go up to 1, swing with all their Lingering Souls tokens, and then play their card after combat, so then no one can attack with Bridge. This reminds me a lot of that, except instead of janky things that Marduk Pyromancer sometimes got too overwhelmed with, that have like a really clunky hand, this is running the power of a lot of Abzan cards. So I can get around it. I'm kind of intrigued by my opponent's deck list, to be honest. I'm actually just going to pass here. I'm not going to plus Lily. If I plus Lily, they'll just kill my Lily with an Abrupt Decay, and I want to have a Lily in hand if possible. I want to keep having Lily as an option here. Okay, so there's their Abrupt Decay. Speeds up her clock quite a bit. And now I'll discard my Liliana. I'll discard the Windswept Heath. Top decking Rhino seems pretty low at this point. The only reason I want the 4th land is for exactly Siege Rhino, which is now a win condition. I mean, they just need to dump their hand so that I can't, or do that. Okay, Walking Ballista would be a pretty good draw here also. So I Edict, right? Yeah, I Edict. Then I have Lethal unless they have an instant in their hand. Okay. Rhino is fantastic. I just don't like Rhino as much under a bridge. So I'm going to blow up their graveyard and try and draw into Walking Ballista or Rhino, which is my win condition here. Yep. Surgical. Nothing worth surgicaling. Okay, Walking Ballista or Siege Rhino. Traverse gives me a win after a turn because I have a full graveyard. Okay, those are no longer win conditions, but I do get to Lily ult pretty soon. I could have surgical the brutality. I just don't see a point to it. I don't think I would rather them top deck brutality at this point than not. So I ult. I put bridge or everything. They choose probably all of their lands, and then I trophy their spirit. Yep. Okay. They have no man lands. Trophy the spirit, win the game. I mean, putting it that would still have a blocker there if we put a bridge in each pile. Game. Anything different I want here, knowing that they're running. Maybe I want some paths, knowing that they're running tracker. I don't think so. I think my Lilianas and my trophies are still more than enough. I don't know about. I mean, path might be better than surgical here, in all honesty. His surgical just seemed kind of medium there. Yeah. That's true. Gaddock Teague doesn't do anything. Alright. I guess I just don't win a long game here. This is a situation where I actually would love to have another Last Hope. And I think I actually keep this hand, to be honest, guys. She is the best card, I think, in this matchup. So I'm going to go turn 1. I get Opt, thanks to Mishra's Bauble, right? Then turn 2, nothing. Turn 3, Liliana Last Hope. I actually think I keep this because we witness that their win condition is really Bitter Blossom and Lingering Souls. And I think this is the single best. This is our trump card in this matchup. Languish can buy us some time too. She will get Trophy to Decade. That's probably true. But I still think she's the most powerful card we have in this matchup. I also like Combo. So I will draw Combo here. Got a lot of green in my hand, so I'll play the Godless Shrine here. I think I just have to jam Last Hope here, even though I'd rather jam Combo first. The cat is not starving to death. He just likes talking. He's got plenty of food and water. He's also got a litter box in the basement. He's got one, which he has access to and all the time, and a litter box in the garage, and he gets to go outside. So he's like the most spoiled cat. Are you kidding me right now? Andrew, you wanted a league, and we're running a league here. I still think we can pull this off. I do think I need to drop Tarmogoyf here. I think Tarmogoyf is the only way I have of being able to deal with Vraska. I think dropping a combo there is a little slow. I want to, like, what I want to do is languish. Like, hopefully they flood their board with Souls tokens. I languish, and go from there. I mean, this is just the weirdest league I think I've run in a very long time. I'm not going to be surprised if we even get, like, Blood Mooned here. Yes, Abzan Traverse is built to beat unfair decks, and we are not seeing those. It's Ensnaring Bridge, too. They have 3 cards in hand. Goyf Shrunk, so Languish is actually really awkward here. Okay, I can... Yeah, they're just killing Goyf next turn, so I can... What's going on? I can... If I Inquisition, Goyf will grow. Currently in the yard is a Mishra's Bauble, a land, and a Planeswalker. 3 card types. I don't know if that makes it... Here. The problem is if I Inquisition, I can't attack. I think what I have to actually do here is attack. Make them lose a spirit. I hear you, buddy. The puppy's currently in class right now. You have free reign on the entire house. So they have a bunch of lands in hand. So Liliana doesn't do much here. I think I actually just drop combo. Super painful. And I'm probably going to lose the Vraska here. Yeah, I don't think it's worth languishing at this point. And they have plenty of fodder for Vraska. They're just going to uptick. They top tick a tracker. Yeah, we're just done. We're just done with playing against decks that we will never see at GP Calgary. Right, Andrew? Oh, man. Jeez. We got more coffee. I made it. I like this hand a lot. This is the type of hand that we've been looking for. This is the type of hand that makes you love this deck, right? Okay. Timely Reinforcements on the top. We are playing against control. All right, let's Inquisition them. Try to punch a hole for Flare. Okay. So just pull this up. Good. We can drop a turn 2 flare and try to win off that. Nice. We drew land. So there's the colonnade. I want to see what their next card is. Opt. Okay. Yikes. What do I want white for this game? Path. I don't really need white for Lingering Souls. For Rhino. Alright, so I will shock. Yeah, all 3 traverses. Yep. So our hand is terrible. The good news is after 1 flare hit, it'll be a lot better. The bad news is that Timely Reinforcements is a heck of a card our opponent has right now. I'm going to... I can't add card types. I'll attack. Put a land on top, and then Thoughtseize. Oh no, I should have traversed, grabbed a land, and Thoughtseized. That was a mistake. Yep, here's Opt. With our luck, our opponent is going to get a Path. Okay. I don't want to push. I don't want to push. And honestly, I just want the 4th card type. So I will pitch that here. Let's traverse. Get a Blooming Marsh. Play the Blooming Marsh. Thoughtseize. So I have a 4/4 trample in play. I'm trying to race my opponent. My opponent has plenty of lands. I think I take the Teferi here with the game plan of I'm going to traverse for another threat, and then next turn my plan is to drop a Liliana. And Teferi can deal with Liliana pretty cleanly. So can Command. But I'm able to drop a Liliana before Cryptic could counter it, where Teferi is more of a cleanup spell. Like, Teferi is just a straight-up win condition. I think I have to take it. And I think here I want another Grim Flare. Which would be really bad if my opponent has the Tension Sphere. But I think they don't because Blue-White Control only has so many flex spots, and it looks like theirs is they're running Timely Reinforcements instead of Detention Sphere. Okay, so opponent played Field of Ruin. I want to Lily Uptick, right? We know that unless they drew exactly Mana Leak or Negate, Liliana is going to survive. If I Lily Uptick, do I care more? Like, I could play a land, Traverse for something, and Lily Uptick, but then I'd be discarding either what I traversed for or the Grim Flare. And I want the Grim Flare to survive. I actually think what I want to do here is traverse for something and play Grim Flare. My opponent didn't cast Timely Reinforcements at a point when they could have just gotten 3/1/1s. I think maybe they're foolishly holding it. Maybe I should have taken Siege Run. I didn't expect to draw another land in a 20-land deck. I think I want to traverse. I don't think Liliana is as important here as I thought. I think that they kept up Like, why else would they not cast Timely there and just get 3/1/1s? Or is it just because they want to gain the 6 life off of it? That could be the case. Alright, I'm going to Lily, Uptick, discard, Tomb, pass after attack. Let's see what's on top. Yeah, they're gonna Field of Ruin, so then they mess up my ordering here. I like both of these, so I will top, play Liliana, pitch a land, pass. So now I'm threatening them 2 different angles. I'm threatening their life, and I'm threatening their hand. They played on their Glacial Fortress. We know they have a Timely and a Cryptic in hand. I'm going to plus here so they can't tap bounce. I'll actually pitch the Traverse because I have 2 threats in my hand. I would take the... Yeah, taking the Teferi, I think, gave me a lot more time than just taking the Cryptic. This will gain my opponent effectively 6 life because now Timely gets turned on. Tarmogoyf seems okay. I actually don't really want any of these cards, to be honest. Like, I don't want Shambling Vent. I have enough threats. I don't think I want Tarmogoyf. I need a way to answer their top decks. Yep, this will get Cryptic Mana Leak. Okay. No, I don't know why they didn't Cryptic Draw there. Save their mana a little bit. Try to draw into a Teferi. We know 100% our opponent's hand. It's Timely Reinforcements and Cryptic Command. They've got to bounce Liliana here at some point, so I'm just going to go in to attack. If they want to trade with Colonnade, I'm fine with that. We know our opponent's hand is Timely Reinforcements and Cryptic Command. I'm going to... Oh, they can't activate Colonnade. Correct. I thought they had 1 more land. I'm going to plus pitch Goyf and then play Flare. Flare is more valuable with the Timely in hand. This way, no matter what they do with Cryptic. Yep. Like they... Oh, they'd already discarded the Timely. I missed that. I actually don't think I play the second Flare here. Like, if I play Flare, they're just going to Cryptic Bounce. Although, if they Cryptic Bounce, I think I win anyway, because then I will have a more powerful board state. Yeah. Because they're going to bounce anyways. This way they don't draw a card off of it. Post board, we get much, much better in this matchup thanks to Gaddock Teague. Sure. Wow. They chose bounce draw. I'm actually okay with that. So they either have a cryptic or some sort of flashy terminus, or we just win the game. One thing I really like about playing Abzan Traverse is it's kind of we get to pretend like we're playing a blue deck with all these surveil effects and Mishra's Baubles. Want to put a card on bottom, which is important. Cryptic tap. I'm going to drop Lily, but I'm not actually going to plus her here because I think the trophy is too valuable. Okay. That was a blind terminus, which is going to cost us potentially this match. So my win condition now is Liliana. The reason I didn't play the Bauble and not plus is I valued the plus there more on her. I want to trophy whichever colonnade they attack Liliana with. I don't care about Iskanta as much. Iskanta's a win condition for them, sure. Although I didn't flip it. Yeah, I'll deal with the first colonnade, keep Lily in play. And try to protect the queen a little bit. Lingering Souls would be a good draw just to protect Liliana for an ult. Losing my flares means my deck is pretty thin on answers right now. Unfortunately, this means I can't plus Lily. If I plus her, they'll just knock her down to 1, and that's actually worse than just holding on. The best possible draw I had there was either another trophy to trophy right now, or a Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls would have been perfect, because then I could have just dropped it plus and then just ridden the Lily ult. Unfortunately, I drew a card that I don't want to. I want to be able to kill this colonnade. All right, now I can do it. They discard a path, we discard a path, pass. All right. Sure, they know I have it, but they still have to do it, right? Like, for all they know, I was holding onto a Rhino and just waiting to draw into a land. Like, it could have been that. They knew I had something. They also knew whatever I had was something I put on top of my deck. Okay. No Dispel. No Spell Pierce didn't do anything. So we are riding a Liliana ult. Our opponent is 2 cards in hand. I feel okay. They have another colonnade. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I think we just lose once they kill Lily. Like we haven't drawn. We've seen half of our deck. We haven't seen one of our 2 souls, which kind of makes sense. If they colonnade right now, a detention sphere. Okay, so I was wrong. They do run detention sphere main board, and this game is functionally over. Yep. Okay. What is bad here? I'm more interested in paths than I am pushes, simply because sometimes they board in Baneslayer Angels and things like that. But we do have Lilianas to clean up that junk. Thoughtseize is good, Bobble's good, Scavenging Ooze is good. We did see a Snapcaster and a Skanta. It's not great, though. Trophy is good, Flare is good, Oliver Walkers are good. Souls are okay here. I do still like Rhino, and I do like Ballista. I like pushing Colonnades too. I just don't know if it's like I have something much better here. Like, I also have the ability to bring these cards in. Anafenza is just an extra beater in case they bring Graveyard Hate in. I have an extra way to push some damage through. I think I actually like Anafenza more than Scavenging Ooze. I think I'll run this. Exactly one path I think is fine. It just gives me an extra out to deal with some of their bigger stuff. This hand's fine. I have a turn 1 Thoughtseize. Yeah, I brought Gaddock Deegan. I am going to shock here. Go down to 15. If I had a slightly faster clock, I'd say Opt is 100% the right play here, but I have no clock. I need to draw a Goy for a Flare, otherwise this hand is pretty rough. Double Jace means I'm not taking Jace. Terminus I don't really care about at the moment. It's either click or Opt, and I think it's got to be Opt. They will draw out of it, but giving them a little bit, giving them a second draw. Opt lets them fix the land situation too. It's between these two cards. And I have souls I can deal with click. I actually think I'm going to lean towards Opt, and I'm usually not of the opinion where you can try to mana screw your opponents. I have Lingering Souls, and I have Ballista that can deal with click. I'm not as worried about her. Knocking my opponent off of a turn 1, potentially 2, maybe even turn 3 play, I think is pretty valuable here. And I drew the pressure, so it actually worked out pretty well. Yeah. So I can actually do a weird little line here, right? I'm going to shock here. I do need a second black land. So my options here are I can Fulminator Mage their Field of Ruin and then just try to run them out of the game. Yep. So that is the line I like the most. I can also combo, which can, if they have a handful of Serum Visions, can really hold them back. But they didn't play Serum Vision, so they don't have it. They might have a mana leak. That is something they could have. I could drop a Souls. But the line I like 100% is, yeah, be a monster and Fulminator. I'm doing this before combat to grow the Goyf. Yep. I'm the Ponza now. Something, something, right? Look at me. Alright, so we got them in a few turns. A few more punches from Goyf and maybe a little Ballista, and we can try to end this game. Put them in a low life total, and combo can deal with them. So they did draw out of it, but now they still need to draw more lands. My lines here are I can Thoughtseize a Planeswalker, which would make Tarmogoyf a 5/6. That makes my clock 3 turns. Right now, if I punch them, it's a 4-turn clock. And then I can drop a Ballista for 1. I can also drop a Combo, which can also speed up my clock if my opponent does anything. Yeah, I do like the Thoughtseize Ballista line the most. It grows Goyf, and that is just a 3-turn clock. Okay, so they drew the 3rd land, so next turn they get to play Click. I actually think I just take Click here. I think I just take Click here to slow my opponent down a little bit more. So they are drawing lands, which they should be doing anyway because they are a, 25 land deck. Dropping a Gaddock Teeg I think would be lights out. Best possible top deck is Gaddock Teeg in this situation. And if we can win this, we'll be winning this with our opponent casting exactly 0 cards. Yep, Campbell. Life totals matter here. So even if they do top deck a Jace and bounce Tarmogoyf, that would put them to 5, and then we would have exactly 5 damage in play. Let's get the basic plane. So Siege Rhino is a live draw, and we can cast Lingering Souls. So even if they do, so right now they'll go down to 6, right? Play Jace, bounce they'll put them at 4. They're just dead. Dead, 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 dead. They're brainstorming? Okay. Why aren't they just, why didn't they just concede? They're trying to, make me use clock? They hoping I don't attack? Yeah, I guess so. So anything we would like to do differently there? I don't think so. I think their game plan. We didn't see any targets for Path to Exile. Our opponent did see a decent number of cards. Yeah, they didn't cast. The only spell they cast was Jace. So I'm actually thinking dropping Path for the other brutality here, so we can strip them of some collective brutalities. I didn't see any Baneslayer Angels. I didn't see anything like that in their hand. It looked like they're still just sticking with Teferi and Jace. I like this hand a lot. It's got a very similar game plan to last time. We still don't have a threat, which is very important in this matchup. But we do have double discard and a bunch of powerful 3-drops. This is much worse being on the draw than on the play, though. We get to shred our opponent's hand. Trophy was a good draw. Okay, we just take the snap. Let's look at the rest of what they have. Okay, opponent's hand is pretty bad. Just a bunch of lands and Cryptic. So, I mean, they kept a handful of lands. We get to take a Cryptic or a Terminus out of their hand. And they now have an Ancestral Vision on Suspend. 100% take the Cryptic here, and I'll play a land and pass. Drawing that third land was pretty important. Next turn I get to cast a Combo or a Fulminator Mage, depending upon what I want to do here. Their hand is really bad. Them top decking an Ancestral Vision is the only thing that's keeping them in this game at the moment. That and the fact that their top decks are really, really good. Opponent played an island, so I can play a Fulminator Mage, which doesn't do much because I have a lot of lands. I can drop a Combo, or I can drop a Last Hope. I think the best line here... Let me get a land. I think I either want to Fulminator and then next turn play Last Hope, Fulminator again, or just drop a Combo and then try Fulminating last turn. I can start upduting Last Hope, I just don't know. Like, so their answers to Last Hope are they have 3 more Cryptics and probably 2 or 3 Teferis. Yeah, I do like the Fulminator line. I think it slows them down enough. But unfortunately, Ancestral Vision means that they're going to be drawing a bunch of spells, right? I have a trophy to deal with their first threat. If they had a Colonnade in play, I'd be more inclined to go the Fulminator Mage route. I think I'm going to go Fulminator Mage. Despite that, the reason being is that if I can keep them off of Jace mana for a turn. They're going to eventually just hardcast Terminus, that's correct. So I'm just going to blow up a land now. Probably should have blown up the Glacial Fortress because blowing up the Hallowed Fountain told my opponent that I'm not running Choke. I'll drop a Last Hope, and I will rebuy my Fulminator. Or I will not. Okay. So they have an Opt on top of their deck, which they're probably going to shuffle away, and a Terminus in hand, and one other card. They're about to draw a ton of cards. So I do have 5 card types in my graveyard. My options here are, they're probably going to draw a path, right? So I want to traverse for a Gaddock Teeg, and I can either traverse for a Gaddock Teeg, play Gaddock Teeg, or I can just play Combo and traverse. I think I value Gaddock Teeg more in this slot than I do value Combo. Let's see if this traverse resolves. I can also just grab a Fulminator Mage and blow up another land, but I think Gaddock Teeg is, where is he? Is a way I can absolutely just lock my opponent out here. Before this Ancestral comes off, okay, Opt is shuffled away. Yep, they had negate when we cast Fulminator. This looks like a Cryptic. Okay, so they had exactly Cryptic in hand there, so it didn't really matter what we grabbed. Gaddock Teeg is gone forever because this is looking a little rough here. Yeah, so we have to trophy the Teferi, hope they don't have another counter spell, and then try to win. They just refueled their hand. They have 5 cards in hand. So I will play a Tarmogoyf as bait for a counter magic, and then I will trophy. It's not over yet. I mean, they have a Terminus in play, which is going to be a little rough, but it's pretty close to over. Knowing we don't have access to Gaddock Tea anymore, knowing they have a Terminus in hand and 5 other cards. Yeah, apparently no mana leak, no negate, nothing like that. Alright, Jace, so then they're going to put Terminus on top and then have an opt so they can do instant speed Terminus. That's fine. Yeah, I think we're at like a 5% chance to win this. I need to draw into another way to kill Jace. I only have 2 trophies left in the deck. Let's just go to combat here. And if they can't protect Jace right here, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Okay. I'm happy with that. Now my option is play Fulminator Mage, play Combo. I don't think Combo's great here. They can just Terminus Hardcast. I think I get the most value out of a Fulminator Mage here. Yeah, they have no paths in hand. Either that or they didn't care about Jace dying because they have the Terminus and they have another Jace in hand. They could just have a handful of Planeswalkers and just not care. Alright. I only have 2 Fulminators in my deck. I think I still blow it up, though. This just means that their Colonnades are going to be a little bit better. I only have 1 Last Hope. She's in the graveyard. And both my Fulminators are now in the graveyard, which means I am out of being able to Fulminator for the rest of the game. And I only have 2 trophies left. So their threats that they can top deck and play right now are going to be very, very good against me. And this looks like a Jace. Nope, Teferi. Okay. This is a spot I don't like being in against control. I don't think anyone does. I'm just down on cards. I'm down on the board. I think I have to drop Combo as fodder here. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, I think. Like, if we've been facing decks that Abzan Traverse is kind of designed to beat, this would be a much different league. But these are just matchups that are just to kind of just go over everything we're trying to do here. We had Big Abzan, round 1, lost, because Big Abzan is the bigger green-black X deck, and Abzan Traverse is designed to beat up on things like Death Shadow Traverse, and not beat up on its big brother, Abzan Midrange. And then we faced Abzan... Okay. Well, better that than Grimflare. And then we faced Abzan... What do you guys want to call it? Abzan Tokens, I guess would be the proper name for it, with Bitter Blossom, Lingering Souls, Chalice of the Void, and Ensnaring Bridge. And that was interesting. And now we're facing blue-white control. Abzan Pyromancer, yeah. I mean, it does remind me a lot, as I said earlier, of the Abzan. This game is just over. I have 2 trophies left in my deck, and I would need both of them and them to not have a counter spell. I can't see a situation where I walk out of this game with a victory. Okay. So this is a donation deck list for Abzan Traverse. It's being punished right now. Abzan Traverse is a pretty good deck in the right meta. If the meta is actually the perfect meta for Abzan Traverse is Hollow One. If you have a bunch of Hollow One opponents, Hollow One humans, it's actually decent against Storm. It's actually okay against KCI. Those are the decks that Abzan Traverse wants to play against. Abzan Traverse does not want to play against decks that go bigger than it. It wants to play against decks that try to get under it. Because the advantage Abzan Traverse has is that it gets to play 5/6 Tarmogoyfs and 4/4 Grim Flayers. And 5/6 Tarmogoyfs block Gurmag Anglers and block Hollow Ones very well. And then having spot removal and a little bit of go wide element with Lingering Souls, that is the perfect home for the beautiful deck that is Abzan Traverse. Unfortunately, the meta right now is not kind to Abzan Traverse in that the decks that go under you right now don't run 5/5s and 4/4s. The decks that go under you are Is It Phoenix, which runs 3/2 flyers and 7/8s that evacuate your board. Or Grixis Death Shadow, which is a pretty good matchup for Abzan Traverse. I think Abzan Traverse is probably 55-45, maybe even a little bit better. But they just have the ability to just quickly kill you. The last time I didn't keep a hand like this, I got punished. I do think this hand is an easy mulligan. Let's just look at it this way. If this is Opt, Flare, because in this deck, Mishra's Bauble is a better version of Opt. And we're playing against yet another Shambling Vent deck. This will be the third Shambling Vent deck we've faced this league. What is going on here? If my hand wasn't so bad, I'd be more Overgrown Tomb on top. Let's shuffle that away. If my hand wasn't so bad, I would want to bobble my opponent just to see what they're on. Yeah, this is definitely the 03 bracket right now. I don't know what this is. It's white-black tokens, maybe? Okay, they're just white-black. Lingering Souls is I'm okay with Lingering Souls here. My options here are I can path a token to make Grimflayer trample over. I'm okay with that line. Unfortunately, I just keep drawing lands. I can play a Walking Bliss to ping one, but I think Walking Bliss is being more important later on. So I'm actually more inclined to go path Grimflayer this turn. I want to make them commit to the blocks so I can kill both. Pathing a Lingering Souls token is never good, but pathing it so I can keep my Grimflayer alive and kill their other one is pretty cool. Hey P-Moon, welcome. I'll get to your question in just a minute. This is a Lingering Souls deck. Veil seems bad. Thoughtseize is not something I'm interested in either. This seems like it's just going to be a nice grindy game. So I will just pitch all those and have a 4/4. You came from the Facebook Toolbox community. Welcome. I'd like to invite you to the Discord community. Let me get you a link. P-Moon, there's a link to the Discord community. We are very active. I would encourage you to hop on board and join us there. I will answer your question in just a moment. I want to attack here. They do have a Shambling vent they can block with. That's a losing line, though. Anguished Unmaking. Sure. Yeah, Temple Garden off of this land. No, I still hold up trophy, and I get my... I want to crack the clue before I resolve the surveil. Okay, I am not going to be surveilling. They are just going to give me more lands. Sure. Okay. How do I feel about devoted decks in the current meta? I think devoted decks are very, very uniquely positioned. What I mean by that is they are designed to beat... Or they not designed. They beat everything at the top of the table except for Is It Phoenix. And in the Discord community, we actually have a nice little... all right, well... Nothing else to do here. We are building a matchup guide where you can actually see in there right now there is a setup where you can see every single matchup Abzan counters company, the Finks version, has, what's it playing against, what's its win rate versus everything. It's very good against pretty much the entire meta except for Phoenix. All right, so opponent has a Shambling Vent and a Lingering Soul, so they're just going, they're winning the Liliana War here. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to win that because they can swing for 4, and I'm top decking lands. Like, I'm running a 20 land deck, and I have pretty much every land in my deck except for a man land, which would actually be useful right now. Yep. This is a 20 land Abzan Traverse list. Oath of Gideon. I have, what, 1 Temple Garden left? Or Goblet Shrine. I want to get as much value as I can here, so I'm just going to play it this way, which means I have to attack Liliana with the Shambling Vent. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this entire league, I feel like I've either been flooding or only, really short on lands. So this is a Kaya deck. I'm just going to concede here. I can't think of a way that I can pull out of this. Yep, every time I said I need to draw, I was always in a spot where I had to draw a specific card. And Abzan Traverse is built around card selection over card quantity, which is not great with the current decks we've been facing. Gaddock Teague's interesting. It doesn't hit anything else, but it does hit their Obnixilis. It's probably not good enough, though. I want to trim Inquisitions, but I think I might want to keep Thoughtseize because their Planeswalkers are more powerful than ours. Combo is interesting. Spellbomb hits Souls. Night of Autumn might hit. I have a feeling that they run Bitter Blossom. And Offensa can make my souls bigger than theirs. I like Walking Ballista. I like Rhino. Veil is probably a little weak, but her power level... The Abzan Traverse doesn't have the most powerful cards in the format. It has situationally powerful cards. And I think Liliana is one of the ones where if I can set up a game state, she can just take over. But she's traditionally weak against token decks. Kaya's actually a decent amount online, which is surprising. So I'm going to cut some Fatal Pushes and some Paths. I actually think I'd rather have Liliana's here. I'll keep the Paths just in case they have some Giant Angel because they're playing against potential jank. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Goyf is a hand I will keep. I don't think I can beat either of these planeswalkers. Obnixilos is a little bit stronger, though. I'm going to lose my Goyf. Yeah, when I bought Kaya, I was really, I thought it was gonna be like a simple little like $2-3 purchase, you know, a standard mythic card that's not really seeing too much play. Yeah, I think dropping this league is, no, there's no point to that. It's probably the correct line. I don't know why they chose to get rid of the Scavenging Ooze over the Tarmogoyf. That seems really odd to me. Maybe they're just afraid of Scavenging Ooze against their Lingering Souls tokens, which seems pretty loose. But then again, we're in the losers bracket right now, so anything is anything's a possibility here. All right, I got a 4-turn clock. Let's see if that's enough. Okay. Not good enough. Yeah, a big thing I think, Kevin and Andrew, I think a big thing here is that we learned that Abzan Traverse, yeah, had a 4-turn clock. I don't think it's what I would bring right now. I'd be interested in seeing the Doomslayer's list. He seems to be playing it a lot. I'd also be interested. I'm kind of intrigued by that jank we saw. That really, really janky Abzan Tokens Chalice bridge deck. Like, is that the direction we have to go? Play Flare, bring back the souls. I don't think I can play around a board wipe here. I think I just have to kind of walk into it, unfortunately. I'm really behind on cards. I'm not going to win a long game here because my opponent runs powerful planeswalkers that another path. We we thought seized their opponent and they didn't have any paths. And they top decked 2. Yeah, I mean, Chalice on 1 is actually surprisingly good against both blue-white control and Tron. And I mean, even if you lose game 1, you still have a chance to pull something sneaky off post board, right? I have a 4-turn clock here. They're going to drop a Sorin and make a 2/2 flyer, right? No? I really need to not draw any more lands in my 20-land deck. I got 3 lands in the graveyard. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Once I get rid of this flats, we'll have seen 12 lands. Get the Goblet Shrine. And now I am out of fetchable lands. That seemed like a really poor line, in my opinion. They didn't want to lose Gideon, so they plussed him. And they really should have ulted him there and then dropped Sorin or hope to draw souls or something like that. Yep. So if they already had souls, no, they still have a Sorin and Inquisition in hand. So they're top decking really live here. And their top decks have been Path, Gideon, Souls. Our top decks were land. I guess Traverse is fine. I can get a Siege Rhino here. And a Fenza's fine, but I think just we have not cast Siege Rhino, and we're going to be quitting this league in a minute. So let's just cast the big boy. Ballista would have been decent too. But this is a Siege Rhino deck first, so let's just play Siege Rhino. Here's Sorin. Sorin is going to make these creatures very large and very scary. Opponent's at 1 life. Yeah, Ballista is probably actually a better choice. So I could have Ballisted for 1, 2, 3. I don't agree with this line. I guess they're trying to clock us out. Alright, I have 8 power. I can put our opponent to 1, which just isn't good enough. I'm going to kill Sorin unless they have another path. Right, and then I'm going to gain 4 life, go up to 9, and the most power they could have possibly is 8, so I'm fine here. They still have an Inquisition in hand. Okay. They're digging for something here. I still need emotes, I know. Kaya will put them up to 6 life, right? Yeah, I agree. Watching Abzan Traverse face 4 grindy matchups in a row, we're just not going to win this. This is not what's going to... I mean, it's probably also not what you're going to see at the GP, to be fair. All right, his opponent just dead. They block here. There's no point in blocking Rhino, so I have lethal. I'm not convinced Kaya is good either. I think she's situationally powerful in a format where being reactive is not great. Yep, so drop her opponent to 1. Nothing in the graveyard I care about, but this little bit of insurance. You do play some weird around. Yeah, that is true. That's true. That's actually one of the reasons why I really like Abzan Company, because it's such a proactive game 1. I think having a reactive game reactive game 1 is not where I want to be in Modern right now. It's why I like I'm drawn towards decks like Abzan Company or Amulet Titan, which they have a very streamlined, very efficient game 1. You don't have to think as much game 1, which is, honestly, game 1 is what 40% of what you do is game 1. And if you can play something which your opponent's hand might not be ready for, or you can just do something that's just maybe a little bit more efficient, a little bit faster than what your opponent's doing game 1, then I think you can sometimes just run away with the game. So we do have the 1 of Path to Exile stuck in our hand right here. I do know my opponent runs discard spells, but they didn't target me yet, so I'm actually just going to traverse. Do I want to traverse here? I'll have... No, I don't want to traverse. So I'm just going to get an Overgrown Tomb here. Actually, I'm going to get Temple Garden. Like, if they had the discard spell, they would have... Oh, stuck on one land. Okay, well, let's punish that. I will play my Grim Flare. If they don't have a path or a push, I can run away with the game. Knowing my opponent's stuck on lands, I think I'm going to play Fulminator Mage here. Yeah, I think Grim Flare is dead. Okay. Top card of their deck is Monastery Mentor. I am getting rewarded for having this Path to Exile in my deck. I'll pitch the Souls. I don't want the land. I'll put the Trophy on top. Trophy can deal with their Planeswalkers. Second main, I can either go Fulminator to knock them out a little bit, and that would actually add the third card type. Let's do that. So they're drawing a Monastery Mentor, but they can't cast it this turn. Okay. Land for turn. Ballista's a decent draw. I'm going to attack here, and then my line is going to probably be Scavenging Ooze, hold up my Temple Garden. I will say no to all of you. Now, we're getting one good game in here, Andrew. We're getting one good game against a really weird deck. When this enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature at the beginning of each end step. If you... Okay, so I'm going to lose Scavenging Ooze here. So, is there anything I actually would like to do? I guess I just eat a land just for poops. If I had played Souls instead, that would have been a way different interaction. Don't want Autumn. Veil's interesting. Like, what do I actually want here? I think I'm fine with all of these, to be honest. And I can always traverse away the second one if I don't want it. Yeah, I wish I'd faced one meta deck as well. Like, I don't think this gives us any useful information. So the line I want to do here is I want to play combo and hold up path to deal with their Monastery Mentor. Like, that's the safest line I can run, and then I can try to run away with 6 power on the board. So I think I'm going to keep both of these. I'm going to top like this. Black, white, combo, and I have path right here. So if they drop a land and have Monastery Mentor and do something, they're going to get punished for it. And I have a Ballista to take out their token, and I should be able to win easily off of that. Yeah, the cat was the most entertaining part of this. All right, so I have a Ballista for 2, and I can swing for 6. Let's do that. I have no interest in traversing at the moment because there's nothing worth traversing. I have everything I need at the moment. I'd rather just use the Flare draws. I'm not interested in another path. I don't care about a Spell Bomb. And Liliana is interesting enough where she can add a unique element to the game. Okay, this is a way for me to deal with Lingering Souls tokens in case they just drop a bunch. Okay. All right, I am going to take a 1-minute break, maybe a 90-second break. I'm done with this league. I am dropping this league. This league has been not what I wanted to see out of Abzan Traverse. We faced 3 Shambling Vent decks, and Shambling Vent decks are what tier? Like they're like what represent 3% of the meta right now. So we faced some weird matchups. Everything we faced was a deck that tried to go bigger than us instead of tried to get under us. And as I said before, Abzan Traverse shines in a meta where they're trying to go under you, because not only do they have a giant 5/6 Tarmogoyf to block your Hollow One, your Human, your Gurmag Angler, but it also is able to race those decks, and that's the important distinction here, where Abzan Traverse's real strength is that you sneak in one little punch with a 5/6 Tarmogoyf early, and all of a sudden your opponent deals a couple damage to themselves, and all of a sudden you look and say, huh, if I attack my Goyf, you have to jump block, and I'm going to get extra removal spells out of the value of your giant creatures. That is where Abzan Traverse shines. It doesn't shine in situations where playing against a lot of matchups that don't care about your 5/6 Tarmogoyf because they run Path to Exile. Every single matchup we faced in this league ran Path to Exile, right? And I think that's very, very, very unusual. I know Path to Exile is one of the most played cards in Modern, but Lightning Bolt, I believe, is still above it. And Lightning Bolt is very bad against us. So what would you guys like to see next? I can try to pull out, I can try to do one more league. So if you want to see some Abzan Company, if you want to see some Amulet, if you want to see some Sultai, if you want to see some centralized Abzan, let me know. Write it in the chat. I'm going to grab a small bite, so I'll be back in 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Small bite and bathroom break. See you in a minute. All right, lost a third of my viewers.